Everyone, welcome to Photography Chat episode 16. Sorry for being a little late today. Um, just kind of in transit. So we're just going to get Michaela on the line here and then we'll get going. Hope everyone is doing great tonight. Hey Amy, hey Lindsay, hey Saul. What's up, little mementos? How's everyone doing tonight? There she is. Okay, let's get Michaela in here. The traveling is not bad. Ontario is a fucking huge
Oh
province.
my God. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I was just someone asked how the traveling was going, and I was just saying Ontario is a fucking massive province. We're on day two. We were hoping to get to Sault Ste. Marie last night, but we didn't do that. Or no, not to Thunder Bay last night, but we only got as far as Wawa. And then
Mm.
today we were hoping to get to Kenora, but
Oh, Kenora, fun.
yeah, which we're only like another hour away from Kenora. But then we both totally forgot that there's a time zone change inside of Ontario because Ontario is so fucking massive. And I was just like, oh shit, I'm totally gonna fuck up the photography chat tonight because of
I
this
mean, it's still
travel. So
happening.
yeah, so instead we stopped in Dryden, and then just pushed this out an hour. So um, you know,
Well,
yeah, sorry for late. Broadcasting from the Holiday Inn Express in beautiful Dryden. Yeah,
hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Okay.
and,
But yeah, fun.
yeah, so much. I appreciate you being on, Michaela.
Yes.
If you want to take a minute and just sort of introduce yourself to everyone.
Oh my God, what do I even say? Hello, I'm Michaela. I am a photographer based in Calgary, Alberta. Yeah, I work with film and digital formats, and I have a studio space that I'm currently in right now. And give a little tour when we're done the introduction. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say about myself. I'm so bad at describing what I do and who I am. But yeah,
It's all right. I mean, you're a published photographer, which is exciting.
yes. Oh
That's really
yeah.
cool. Yeah, you've been in like CBC and other things, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, when
You,
CBC used my picture, I was like, holy shit, it's a big deal.
yeah,
So, yeah, I have been published in multiple publications, so that's nice. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, thank you for
So,
introducing yourself.
quick,
Appreciate you joining.
yes.
Yeah. So, I guess a quick tour of your studio would be exciting. That's so cool. You got a
Hmm.
studio space now.
Yeah, so I got a studio space recently. Can I even flip the camera? No, I can't. Okay, so we're gonna go this way.
Yeah,
So
you should be able to flip the camera.
I'm like so technically bad.
There
So,
was like this loopy thing. What's up, Julianne?
oh my gosh, hey. Okay, I'm just gonna do it this way because I don't tech. Anyways, I'm a photographer, but I'm bad at tech. So, this is like the hangout part of the studio space. It's really nice. Use these chairs. They're nice. I'm so bad at describing the space. Anyways, this is what people see when they enter, which is like this cute little sign. I wish it was forward, but alas. We have our nice COVID things that we use, and Tylenol, just in case anyone needs it. Um, and then we have this nice little beauty mirror with these lights. Hello. And then we have this big space that we use for shoots, and it's great because we get all the photo paper up there, and we have tons of backgrounds over here. Like there's a whole corner of backgrounds. So super fun. Actually, these are my lights right here that I use in like every shoot, and they're continuous. I'll just turn them on quick. Oh, okay. So yeah, I use like these lights in every shoot. I have yet to use the strobes. They kind of scare me, so we'll get there one day. But yeah, it's a cute little studio, lots of space. If you're ever in Calgary and you want a shoot, please hit me up because I have studio space and I want to use it. But yeah, it's super fun. And we have
Strobes aren't that
records.
scary.
Pardon?
Strobes aren't that scary.
I know. I can't figure out the transmitter properly. I don't know. It's me being bad at tech.
That's fair.
Live, laugh, love. But
No.
yeah. No, I love saying live, laugh, love. It's like my favorite thing to say, even though it's like quintessential suburban housewife. I still love it.
That's
I'm
fair.
like off kilter. But yeah, so cool. That's the studio. I don't know if anyone wants to see anything else, but that's it.
Well, I appreciate you sharing the studio space. That's very
Yeah.
exciting.
Sorry I
Um,
couldn't like flip my camera. I don't know what happened there.
coming from the hotel room.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a different background from like every other episode. I have this like beautiful Holiday Inn painting,
Wow.
like birch trees, so gorgeous.
Ooh.
And we got a big old dog with us this time.
Why do you have a dog with you?
Onus.
Live, laugh, love, baby.
Um,
Otis?
his name's Onus.
Oh, I thought it was Otis, and I was like, oh, I love that. But Otis is also good.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. He's a big goofball. It's my friend Kat's dog, and we're driving across the country because she's moving to Vancouver.
Ooh. I
Yeah,
think Kat and I follow each other on Instagram.
sorry.
Hello, Kat.
I mean, we're not. We're just on a road trip to Nora. That's it.
Just on a road trip,
Yeah,
having a
just
good time on a road trip.
yeah.
Yes. So, what's the topic of discussion?
I mean, it's like the floor is yours to talk about whatever
Okay.
you like, or if people have questions in the crowd. So it's all about like, what's up out there. Amy says,
Hmm.
"Love you, Onus." That's very nice. Thank you, Amy. What's up, Jen?
Oh my
Uh,
God, hey Jen.
yeah,
I
Jen's
don't.
a Texas pal.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Uh,
I was gonna say I don't know Jen, but I'll still say hi.
yeah. I mean, are there any projects you're working on that you'd like to talk about, or?
I there's this one that I really want to do that's based on the movie Midsommar.
Oh
I
shit.
basically I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies, just because of the visuals and the aspect of horror that isn't always there. Oh my God, my boyfriend Sebastian's here. Anyways,
Aw. What's
hey
up,
Seb.
Sebastian?
So I really want to do a shoot based on Midsummer. Just basically, I want to build the flower dress all by myself with real flowers, which is a big thing to take on because I have to make sure all the flowers will like stay and that they won't wilt and stuff like that. I also need grant funding for this because I can't
Okay.
spend like hundreds of dollars on flowers just on my own. So that's a project that I am constantly thinking about that I really want to do soon. We'll see. I have some stuff. Oh my God. I wish I was stuffing an axe into a bear. Maybe I should do that, honestly. That would be sick as hell. Just get a bear costume and put someone in it. I definitely like toyed with the bear idea, but like I don't, it feels so masculine to me that I just don't like it as much. I don't know, that might be cliche, but yeah, so like there's the midsummer one. I know, I'm just like, ooh, too masculine, it's a bear. But I'm excited for that. I have a few other projects coming up that I don't really know how to describe them. There's one that's related to like codependency, and I want two models to be naked and like literally like pressed up against each other, and like I want to wrap a thread around them and do a long exposure of that, and also like segmented pictures that show how codependency just like starts as a little thread but builds to be something that holds and binds people together. So those are like
Hmm.
two projects I have in my mind right now that I'm like, okay, I want to do these. So it's just getting the right models, getting the right tools and materials, and also just like COVID as well is very present in my work
Yeah,
in terms of who I can work with. So yeah,
thanks, COVID.
yeah, COVID's great.
Right?
I'm
So
like I'm hating it.
amazing.
Hmm.
Love it so much.
Thanks. Yeah, it's great. COVID.
That sounds like an exciting project.
Yeah, it's the codependency one is really that's one that's really close and personal to me. So it's hard because I need to find the right models that are also okay with that subject matter and doing all that. So that's a project I'm really excited for, but I don't know what models to use. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I have a few other things going, but I don't want to talk about them just yet because they're like secret.
Oh,
hmm
that's exciting.
Secrets. But yeah, I don't know, like if anyone has any questions for me, please ask them because I'm bad at just talking about myself.
Yeah, definitely. Like, this is a big, we want the photography chats to be like an open forum for people to ask questions about things, and definitely feel free to jump in the chat there. Julianne's already been very
I
interactive.
know. Thank you,
She's
Julianne.
If you're looking for like rad Christmas presents, definitely check out Foot to Face on Instagram. There's a link to her store there. She makes really dope t-shirts. She's got some new stuff coming out. Kat's asking, what is your favorite camera to use?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so for digital, I just have a Canon T6i with a 50 millimeter lens, and then I think it's like I always mix it up. It's like 18 to 35 or something. I don't know. But I like that camera. When it comes to film, I constantly use my Canon T70 that has automatic shutter speed, so it's kind of like a fail-safe. I also have a Pentax K1000 that I'm a big fan of. So I guess it's like three of them are my favorites, right? So I can't choose. But yeah,
Yeah,
that answers that question.
T70 is a dope camera.
Yeah.
Um, Eric asks, when did you start getting into photography and what got you into it?
Oh my God. So, I've been doing photography. Also, hello, Eric. Thank you for joining. Eric's one of my friends from Calgary. Also,
Nice.
yeah, so photography. I got like a Canon PowerShot when I was really young, but even before that, I had like a Polaroid iZod, which is like, or I don't, iZod something. It was like this little,
With iZone. Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
iZone.
The
I don't,
iZone's interesting
iZod.
because they stopped making it because that shit had to be like handmade in Mexico. And
What?
yeah, the price point for it was so crazy because it had to be handmade. Because it was so tiny,
Okay.
they couldn't get machines to do it, so they made all
Yeah.
that in Mexico by hand and they stopped making it because it was too fucking expensive.
That makes sense. I get that. Anyway, so that was like my first like real camera, I guess, when I was a child. And then I got the Canon PowerShot and I would take it with me everywhere. So, I mean, like photography's always been in my life. And I recently really got involved when I started taking journalism at Mount Royal University. I had to take photojournalism, which I hated, but it got me into photography. So that's kind of like long story short.
And Johnny the Bandit
Dehydrated.
asks, is there any color combos that catch your eye? Example, blue and yellow in a frame catches his eye,
I
their
love
eye.
blue and yellow. That's such a good color combination. I mean, I hate to be cliche in the sense where it's like red and blue, but I find red and blue is perfect because it works on everyone. Like, there's there's never been a client that I've had in where I've put red and blue on their face and like, no. So I find that tends to catch my eye a lot. Also, I'm like so dehydrated right now. I really like lime green, like a clear kind of ocean blue, and then like a
Got
royal purple. All those together. That's like my favorite color combo.
nice.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. There's so many questions. Hello
Oh,
everyone.
Trixie says that they love your photography, and also,
Thank you.
what do you recommend for new photographers?
Oh my gosh. This is I knew this question was coming and I was like, fuck, who would I recommend? There's so many people that I would recommend. One person whose work I love so much, they're
No,
in
no.
Calgary.
What do you recommend for new
Oh,
photographers?
my brain. Um, what I would recommend, oh my God, literally if your budget is big, get a camera that gets interchangeable lenses. If you're just like looking to shoot some stuff on the side, maybe just like a little guy. I don't know. That's such an. I'm very bad at gear and very bad at
Um,
tech.
Well, I mean,
Everyone
so
take this.
for new photographers, I guess really just get a camera that's in your budget and just go shoot. Like so
Yeah,
many people will tell you like this is the best camera, or that camera. Like the best camera is the one that you could afford.
very
Um,
that.
and if you're just getting started to just get an idea of like what's going on, maybe just buy like an entry level DSLR or even like a digital point and shoot just so that you could kind of get a feel for what your eye is.
Hmm.
And then once you start getting more comfortable with that, you can explore film if that's what you want to do. It's just film starts getting more exponentially expensive.
Hmm.
Michaela can definitely, talk about, and myself also, like film when you're looking at a roll, like you're going to be spending anywhere from like $5 to $20 for a roll of film, and then like $10 to $15 for processing and scanning and all of that. So like you're
Hmm.
looking at anywhere from like $15 to $30 per roll of film that you're getting done. So and when you're getting started, out of that 24 or 36 exposures in a film, if you're just getting started with it, you may hate like 90% of the roll, and so you just spent like $15 to $30, and you'll get like upset, sort of like pissed off possibly. So digital is a good
Me.
place to start if you're just getting going, to just sort of get a feel for like what your eye is and like what you kind of like shooting and getting more comfortable. I
Yeah.
kind of like the Nikon systems personally because Nikon has a lot more options for glass because you can go further back with Nikon glass on the cameras. Michaela's a Canon
I hate Nikon.
tell from there. Um, but if you're looking at point and shoots, the Canon point and shoots are hands down the best point and shoots out there.
Oh yeah.
Nothing really beats them unless you've got money to buy like a Ricoh GR whatever. Those things are kind of insane. But yeah, it's the best camera is the one that you can afford.
Yeah, no, it's very that. And even like point and shoots, like I find point and shoots, like you can find them at thrift stores. Just if you're looking for a point and shoot film camera at a thrift store, make sure it takes double A batteries. Do
Yeah.
not get ones that take other batteries because the batteries are so expensive and like you might not even like the camera. So now you have like
Well,
this $30 battery you don't need.
and like honestly, if you've never played with film before, the Lomography simple use reusable camera is a good place to start. I think they're
Mhm.
about $40 or something, and it's as simple as they get. Like it's got a flash. It's a really wide lens. You want to shoot it in daytime, but it's a good feeling to sort of get an idea of like what film is like, and because it's reusable, you can reload it with different films and you can experiment with it a bit. So,
Yeah.
that's a good option too if you don't want to mess around with like playing with something from a thrift store or Valley Village or something like that. The Lomography simple use camera it's actually kind of become a favorite camera of mine. The last,
Ooh.
even though it's like such a cheap, shitty hunk of plastic, the
It
pictures
is.
it takes are great. Like a bunch of my recent posts have all been from the Lomography simple use camera.
Okay, interesting. Cute. Also,
We
like,
shot some
hi, all my
Cinestill in it,
friends.
which was hilarious because I think the Cinestill film itself is worth more than the camera is.
Oh, I want to try Cinestill film so bad. If anyone wants to get me Cinestill film, do it. I am begging you. Anyways, I want to try it so bad. It looks so good.
You should try it. I
I
mean,
just like I don't want to pay for the shipping from Downtown Camera. I love
well,
them, but I don't want to.
if we can catch up in Calgary, I have this roll of Cinestill 50 that you can have.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
I
Also,
think.
I have so many friends joining. Hello, everyone. Thanks.
And then also Julianne asked, what did
Yes.
you hate about photojournalism slash what did it teach you?
So photojournalism was nice. It was a really good introduction to like getting used to taking pictures of other people, which is something I hadn't done before. And also just like being at events and taking pictures at events. Because before I got into journalism, I worked in marketing and events, so I knew how events worked from the inside, but I had never been on the outside and like taking pictures like that. So it was interesting to see how I could transition from like taking pictures of like just random stuff, also hello, to actual people doing things at events. And that taught me that continuous shooting is a godsend when you're taking pictures of people, because I'd go to an event and I'd take like one picture, like Beakerhead, for example. It's a science festival in Calgary. I'd go there and I'd take like pictures of people mingling around, and like that's all good and well, but sometimes there are moments that you capture with continuous shooting that you wouldn't capture if you were just taking one picture. And it's so weird because like I didn't like photojournalism, and my teacher Paul Coates was just like, you have a really good eye, you need to stick with it and not give up, which I was very close to doing because I was just like, why am I doing this? I hate it. But yeah, Paul told me to keep going with it. So I was like, okay, I'll keep going with it. So I did that. And then I met a drag queen named Grease Jones. Oh my God, hey. I met a drag queen named Grease Jones and a drag queen named Vanta Black. They're both drag queens from Calgary. Oh my God, a candid. I interviewed Grease Jones for a journalism project, and I ended up going and taking pictures at one of the drag shows that they did, and it completely changed my life. I had always really loved drag, and like it was such a cathartic thing for me, was going to a drag show and taking pictures of these performers. And that's when I really like realized that I wanted to do photography. I wanted people who were performing to have pictures of themselves that they could look back on and be like, wow, like that's what I did this night. Like, I don't know, Carla Marx fisted garlic bread. And like, I took pictures of it, and I'm like, this is great. Now Carla Marx
Wait,
could always remember this.
like
Yes.
it,
So
it
she took like a big, like French garlic bread and
okay.
like literally fisted it
Huh.
and just kept, yeah. So like, there are
Like
moments like
that
that,
or like
like this and then that.
okay.
It was a moment. I'll never forget that because it's that like crazy. And yeah, so I did that, and then I got into concerts as well. I've taken pictures of Snoop Dogg, which is great. I'm like, I always love to tell people about that. I'm like, Snoop Dogg. Um, I also took pictures of Alexis on Fire recently, which was really cool. Yeah, like I loved photojournalism in a sense where it like introduced me to new things, but I didn't love taking pictures at boring events. So I just kind of like moved on to more fun events, and then I realized I kind of want to do this. And then I merged into event photography, which is like, in my mind, very different from photojournalism. And now I've like
Yeah.
transitioned to portraits because I have no choice. But yeah.
Yeah, because live music got
Oh
rid
yeah.
of
It's
COVID.
defunct now. I mean, I'm just gonna go get more water because I'm parched. Also, thank you, Avi. Say my action shots are amazing. It's all just getting the settings right and continuous shooting. Truly, continuous shooting has saved my life in so many ways. So many ways.
Oh, yeah. Also, for the person that asks, like, things for beginning photographers, being able to shoot in manual isn't a requirement to be a
No,
photographer. Like, there's
not
some
at all.
people out there like, oh, like, if you don't know how to shoot manual, you're a poser. It's like, whatever, fuck that. Technology is great, and if you could take advantage of technology to take beautiful pictures, take advantage of it. I'm a lazy fucker. I use all of the auto features I can when I can.
Oh, me too. Like the way I would do concerts is I'd be at the Saddle Dome. I'd be like at the very front, super overwhelming, and I'd take a picture in auto. I'd look at my settings on auto, and then I'd put those base settings into the manual function, and then I'd build from there. So
Yeah.
like I never typically start right in the manual function. So yeah.
That's a great way to do it. Like what I usually do when I'm shooting film is I'll have my digital camera with me, and I'll fire a
Mhm.
couple shots on the digital camera just to get an idea of like what the scene looks like. And what I'll do is I'll match my whatever ISO I'm shooting on film. I'll match my digital to be the same ISO as that, and it helps me get an idea of
Mm.
like how the strobes are behaving at that ISO and what the scene looks like before I start shooting it on film. So then I don't end up wasting a roll of film. So.
First started shooting film,
Digital is just as important as everything else.
it is. Also, thank you, JC. Icon. She's an artist in Calgary. Please go check out her work. She's amazingly talented. Anyways,
Aw.
but yeah, film. Oh my God. When I first started shooting film, the pictures were horrible. They were so bad.
Yeah,
I almost stopped. And actually, like, Merlin was the one who was like, just keep going. So thank you, Merlin. You've saved me.
welcome. Your photos are great, and it's
Oh my
always
God, thank
fun
you.
to shoot with you whenever you come to Toronto.
I know, I'm so sad. My grandma is moving back to Calgary. For those who don't know, I go to Toronto like once a year to visit my grandma. But she's moving back to Calgary now, so I don't know when I'm going to be in Toronto next. And it's like devastating. But I know I'll be back one day. So
I'm glad we
who
got to go
knows?
to Peppers the last time you were there. Those smash burgers were wicked awesome.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Oh my God. Oh my God. I
am
haven't
I
stopped
cutting out? Or?
thinking about that place. No, I know what you said. No, you're good now. It was 1 minute, and then
Oh,
I heard the smash burgers, and I was like, I know. It's like I know what he's talking about. Oh my God. There's this amazing place in Toronto called Han Moto. And when I tell you my life changed because of this thing called a dino wing that Merlin introduced me to, like I tell everyone about that wing. Anyways, amazing,
yes.
phenomenal.
Okay. The Dino Wing for people that aren't in Toronto. If you ever do get a chance to go to
Yes.
Toronto, the world stops ending or whatever, you have to go to this place called Hanmoto. And the Dino Wing is they take a chicken wing and then they like it takes them 3 days to make it because they have to like freeze it and do all this shit. But they basically stuff a chicken wing with pork dumpling stuffing and then like put it all back together and then deep fry that shit and cover it in this like tasty savory sauce. And every person I've taken there, it's almost like a come to Jesus moment when you like bite that thing. It's just it's fucking crazy. And then the Han Moto group has
Mhm.
all these other crazy restaurants, and one of them is called Peppers, and they do these like fucking amazing smash burgers that are just like, oh my God, so good.
They're
I'm
so
glad we
good.
picked those places the last time you were here. Yeah.
Yes, that was so much fun. I got so many good pictures out of it too. But London Drugs fucked up my E6 film.
What?
Never, everyone, never take your E6 film to London Drugs because they will cross process it and then they'll tell you that it was expired and that it wasn't stored right.
Well, I mean,
Girl, I had a word with the manager
never.
today.
You should never take E6 to London Drugs ever. You got to
I
send that shit off to a proper lab.
I know. I was just in a pinch and I just like wanted my pictures. They got 1 out of 3 rolls right, so like it worked. But yeah, don't take your E6 film to London Drugs.
What's up, Jeff?
Yes.
Johnny asks, just curious, did you get to meet Orville Peck?
So here's a funny story about like that whole thing. So when Stampede was happening, Orville Peck came in, and like when you're shooting at Stampede, if you're a photographer that's working with a publication, which is what I was, you don't get to meet anyone before or after. But he was like, I forget if Trixie Mattel is a drag queen, and Trixie Mattel was in town either the night before or the night after. Now, Orville Peck and Trixie Mattel are good friends. I hate how I know all this. But since I run in the drag community, like one of my friends was hanging out with Trixie Mattel, and he told me, he was like, oh, by the way, that's Orville Peck. And this was at Trixie Mattel's show. So, like, I stood behind Orville Peck in a drink line, but I never officially met him. But I know what he looks like, which is crazy because not a lot of people know what he looks like. So that's my coolest Orville Peck story. I didn't get to meet him,
That's
but
a little bit stalkerish, though, dude.
it's not though. My friend told me, so it's not like I was like, oh my God, where are his eyes? You know, like
I'm just
I
teasing you.
knew. But
My
yeah,
friend
it was super
Cassidy
fun.
says, "Go, Michaela! It's rad to see what you're up to and following along."
I went to high school
And
with
then
Cassidy. Hi.
Mucho Muscovite says, "Hi, Queen."
Oh my gosh, that's Eugene. Pictures I've just posted on my account are actually of Eugene. I love her. She's amazing. One of my favorite models in Calgary, hands down. Like, actually, my favorite person as well. So, yeah.
And Last Moonchild says they live in Toronto and they want to connect with more film creatives. If you want, give me a follow. I'd be happy to like introduce you some people, and then also follow Northern Film Collective. It's a Canadian film collective community thing, but a lot of people are from Toronto there, so it'd be a good place for you to take a look at to try and connect with people there. Um, that'd be some things I'd recommend for trying to meet more people in the Toronto area. So there's a good film community in Toronto.
Yeah. Oh,
And Johnny's
100% there
husband.
is. It was an awesome story. I must admit, like that's one of my favorite stories. I'm just like, I know what Orville Peck looks like and you don't. So, I don't know. He looks like every other man, but like something special about knowing.
Yeah, I mean you're in like a
Mhm.
rare group there.
I'm in the circle.
You're in the circle.
I am in it.
What's been the most mind-blowing thing that's happened to you so far in your photography adventures?
Um, oh my God, there's so many things. Like, hmm,
The
I
first
don't
thing that comes to mind when you think about it is like something that you never would
honestly
have expected happening to you.
taking pictures of the Backstreet Boys. That was a huge moment for me. That was huge. Okay, so my first concert was the Backstreet Boys when I was like 7 years old, maybe six. And it was at the Saddle Dome, which is the bigger venue in Calgary. And oh my God, I like that was the best concert ever. I still remember it to this day. And the Backstreet Boys were coming to Calgary. It was in 2018. And I was with the Calgary Journal, which is MRU's publication, which is the university I went to. And my friend Sam, who is also a photographer at the Calgary Journal, he had applied for the Backstreet Boys through Live Nation. I also applied for the Backstreet Boys through Live Nation. I was like, please let me get this. I got an email back and they said that they just basically they chose Sam to do it. So I got on the phone so quick. I called Sam. I was like, Sam, please, you don't understand what this means to me. Like, I need to take pictures of the Backstreet Boys. I was like, I will die if I don't take pictures of the Backstreet Boys. So we ended up working it out with Live Nation, and I was able to do that, which was great. But I took pictures, and my settings were wrong. So, like, they
Oh
did not
shit.
turn out. I have two pictures. One of them is of Nick Carter and like he looks so weird. Aaron Carter, I forget which one. So like I have two pictures that turned out from that whole night, and I was continuous shooting for like 15 minutes straight. And if you know what that means, you know like you'll have thousands of pictures to go through, and two turned out. So that was like the most crazy thing that happened to me. Yeah.
That
So
that'd be wicked painful.
it hurt, but it taught me so much about what I needed to do before I went to a show. And like as bad as that was, I mean, I was still like at the very front of the stage seeing the Backstreet Boys. And like they performed a song from the 90s before I got kicked out, because you only get 3 songs when you do concerts
Okay.
before they kick you out. Like they don't kick you out, they escort you out, but you're still not allowed to be there. So yeah, that was interesting, but it showed me like, you got to have your settings right. You have to know, the kind of situations you're walking into. And with a venue like the Saddle Dome, I mean, my settings very rarely change. Like they vary a little bit, but they're typically all along the same lines. So a lesson definitely learned.
And someone asks here, how is your editing so fragging fast, and
Oh
how
my
do you
God.
streamline the shoot and editing?
Oh my God. Okay. So she knows because I took pictures of her like one week, and then I messaged her one day. I was like, I'm editing your pictures. And then like an hour later, I sent her 150 edited pictures. So my editing process is really quick. I mean, I don't really edit too much besides color. Um, Maybe like some saturation. I guess that counts as color. So color and exposure are kind of my main edits. And especially with event photography, dead ass how. Event photography, I find it's easier because once you have the right setting for it, like in RAW, in Camera Raw and Photoshop, once you have that right setting, you just like apply it to all the other ones, which is what I do for events. I also sometimes do that with photo shoots. I mean, I find once I have like a good thing going, I just like, I'll sit there for 4 hours and edit and like just not stop until I'm done, which is like the worst thing for my back and my eyes as well. But that's the only way I can get everything done so quickly. I dedicate time to do it, and I just zip zoom zoom. Yeah.
That's amazing. I hate editing. That's why I don't do digital, really.
I love it because I just learned how to do like this is so stupid. I just learned how to do like color processing in RAW, which is like or like I forget what it's called. Oh my god, just learned it, right? But it's like a further way to edit color, so I can change the prime hues of red, of green, of blue. And I learned that like literally a week ago, and it's changed my whole editing process. I've found it takes a little bit longer now, but it's worth it because I get to experiment with all that color. Even yes, split toning. Thank you, Sebastian. He hears me talk about it all the time. But yeah, I learned how to do split toning, and in tandem with the lights I use, it's like the colors I'm able to get are insane, and I was never able to do that before. So that's fun, but it's added some time to my editing process for sure.
I mean, it's good to learn new things.
Yeah, like oh my god. Well, for the longest time, I didn't even further explore Camera Raw and Photoshop because I didn't think it was worth my time, honestly. Like I don't even do levels. I just am in the first option with Camera Raw, and that's all I do. So I just started doing split toning and other stuff.
So you do all your editing in Photoshop. You don't use Lightroom?
No, I don't use Lightroom. I don't like Lightroom.
Yeah.
People
I'm
are usually surprised when I say that, but
I'm a little surprised, honest. I hate Lightroom so much, but
I think the reason I use Photoshop is because when I went to school and Paul Coates, my man Paul Coates, he's like late 80s. He's my angel. I love Paul Coates, but he also taught me how to use Photoshop. And something with me, I'm very bad at tech. I'm not good at learning things right away. And something with Photoshop is that like Paul would sit with me and like he would make sure that I understood what I was doing. And so I think that's just stuck with me. So yeah. Also, Johnny, I'm wondering if you have, I'll read this. I
okay.
was wondering if you guys have any metering tips for taking portraits of people with darker skin tones. So honestly, I'm the worst for like consistent stuff when it comes to taking pictures of like anyone, darker skin tone, lighter skin tone. I adjust my settings depending on the person, and I also adjust my lights depending on the person. Um, I did a shoot with my friend Abby, who is a person of color, and his skin is a little bit darker, so I just found colors that worked with his skin tone and helped bring it out rather than flatten it. Um, I don't really work with any natural lighting, so I can't speak to that because, yeah, all my lighting is colored, and I make sure that it helps bring out the undertones of the person's skin. Like, for example, my skin, the undertone is pink, so I'm not going to use like super cool tones all around. I would actually like try and bring in warmer tones to help bring that out. Just an example. I'm parched.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any tips because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm lazy as fuck and I just let my camera do all the work. So, I usually shoot an aperture priority and I just fuck around and find the right aperture to what looks like it's not gonna look like shit and then hope for the best. And so far,
Hmm.
it's been pretty okay.
And I mean, like everyone is different. Everyone's skin tone is different, and it's finding those right settings. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get it right, but getting it right is so important to the client, no matter what their skin tone is. And that's something like I always make sure, like I show my clients their pictures and make sure that they're comfortable with what like colors I'm putting on them and how they feel and how they look. Like I just saw Eugene said like who didn't make her skin look jaundiced. Like that's so vital. Why would you edit a picture of someone knowing it doesn't look good and then send it to them? I don't like I'm very particular. I just when I work with people, I think and when I see the pictures, I think, would I like it if I got sent this photo of me? If I was this person, would I feel good in this picture? I constantly think about that when I'm taking pictures, when I'm editing, and even when I'm about to send them. Like, I'm very, very particular in making people feel good and using colors that work with everyone. Like, I'll try out 50 color combinations. I don't care. We'll get it right. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question.
Yeah, no, that was a really good question. Thank you. I get asked that a lot, and I find it's like a lot of people don't. always think of that. And it's something that's really important to think about because you're not always working with white people. I mean, like, this is boring.
Yeah, not always. And it's kind of like interesting factoid. Film used to be racist.
It did.
It's
It
yeah,
did.
it did. And yeah, because color film back in the day used to be horrendous for taking pictures of people of color,
Sorry, my
and
battery.
it would Kodak and the other places didn't fix it until a hardwood flooring company complained because they couldn't get the tones of their different woods correct. So only
Yeah.
then did the color problem get sorted out. It didn't have anything to do with people, it was about wood. So thanks, wood.
Yeah, which is like fucked up, but at the same time, thanks, I guess. Like, I don't know. The photography industry has so many like issues when it comes to racism, and like, I remember when I
Yeah.
first learned about film not being accommodating of people of color, and it was kind of like a what the fuck moment. It was like, that's not nice. But I mean, like, thankfully it's been accommodated, but like, at the same time, I'm just like, okay, that's fucked up. Not great. Oh
No,
my
no,
gosh, what
it
did
is
you?
problematic sometimes. And you should
Mhm.
be, yeah, says thank you. Yeah, you should be more patient. Just, play around and experiment and just see what works right for you. And oh yeah, and chocolate ads. That's a
Oh
good point.
yeah.
And Kat, I agree. It is
Mhm.
so fun. It's very sketchy.
It's very like not nice to know, but it's a part of photography history, so it's important to acknowledge.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I don't think it was until like the 70s they started addressing it. Because even back in the days of the labs, like all of the sample documents they had for like what the color tone should look like
I
was
remember
all
that.
label. And
Hmm.
then it wasn't until like I think the 70s or something where they switched it up and started putting in like, different races of people into the, color cards so that it could be like, yeah, this is what it looks like. And
Yeah, no, and like thankfully someone did say something like, "Hey, we need different tones in here." I mean, like it sucks that it was related to wood and chocolate, but like things have changed, thankfully, a little bit.
a little, yeah, a little bit.
Not that much, but a little bit.
Yeah. But that was a great question. Thank you,
That was
Molly.
a really good question. Thank you.
I like your cowboy hat also. It's
Yes, I
nice.
love like the little cowboy hat emojis. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Oh my
fun.
God. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Is there any like other questions anyone has or anything? I shoot on film too, so if you have film questions, I can answer them. And if I can't answer, Merlin can answer. Oh my gosh. So my friend Brandon Lee took pictures of me. Oh my God. I was so nervous about those pictures because honestly, I was not feeling myself. I didn't feel great that day. I felt really bloated. Excuse me, but uh, excuse me. This is sparkling water, so hiccups. But Brandon is such an amazing photographer. If any of you have a chance, please check out Brandon Lee's work. Lee is spelled Leigh. Yes. And Brandon is spelled how Eugene spelled it. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, I looked like a diva, but I did not feel like a diva. My contour that day was so bad. I don't know what I did that day. I don't. I see some of those pictures and I'm like, why did I contour like that? And who let me go in front of the camera like that? But, anyways, I find I'm a lot harsher on myself when I'm in front of the camera because I know kind of what goes into it. And also, like, models go through so much when they have to be in front of a camera, especially when they're doing their makeup. I didn't do my hair that time. And also, like, styling. There's so much to think about. But my experience with Brandon, it was amazing. I love Brandon so much. They are such an amazing person and so beyond talented. I can't even put into words how amazing Brandon is. She moved to Vancouver, so I'm very sad right now
Oh,
because we were just like forming such an amazing friendship. Yes, thank you, Eugene. Everyone check out Brandon. Amazing work. Um, but yeah, they moved to Vancouver. Super sad, as JC said. I miss her. But yeah, she's amazing. Like phenomenal person. I've learned so much from her. And yeah, when I first started doing concert photography, Brandon was my favorite concert photographer because she took live shows and I still don't even know what she does with it. It's phenomenal the way that she manipulates color and grain and contrast. Like, mind blowing. Mind blowing. Love Brandon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, modeling's scary though. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, and just for people that don't have the chat up here, it's BrandynLeigh if you want to give them a follow.
Check it out. Brandon is, yeah, like art photography, portraits, concert photography. Like, Brandon does it all. And with such a unique perspective. And yeah, there's so much that I could say about Brandon that's like amazing. Also, yes, creative director, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Oh, any tips as photographers for normal people getting comfortable in front of the camera? Oh my God, so this is a question.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I definitely have an answer for this.
Is this because I see you all the time, Julianne, when we hang out? I mean, you got to meet Julianne last
I
time.
did.
We had a park
Yes.
hang. That was a lot of fun.
It was so fun.
Um, so I mean, I don't know, because like I get uncomfortable myself as much as I take pictures of people. I get uncomfortable having my picture taken, so I don't really know
Mhm.
what the tip is. I guess it all depends on like what photographer is taking pictures of you. If it's like some rando on the street, I would that makes me a lot more uncomfortable than a friend taking my picture. If it's a
Yeah.
friend, I just think about it the way that I approach it, which is like a lot of the time I just, you know, think I would like to capture a memory, so that's what they're trying to do.
Hmm.
Trying to think about it that way, but it still makes me uncomfortable, and like I know some of my friends get uncomfortable with it too.
As you look back at Kat. Poor Kat, poor Kat. Also,
And
Eugene is a model, and they say YouTube modeling tips. Very helpful. I just wanted to say that before, like,
oh yeah, modeling tips. And then I've seen movies where they take shots with a slanted angle. I was wondering what you think about this for a series of portraits.
I do just quickly want to answer Julianne's question because I've been working with a lot of people
Ah,
that have not been comfortable in front of a camera, and it's been quite a learning curve for both me and the person in front of the camera. Um, this sounds so weird, and I say this every single time I say it to someone, but if you just move around, like literally shake your body, and like I find by the 5-10 minute mark of like my 45-minute shoots, people get comfortable. And like turning on music, that's also, if you're in a studio environment, if you can turn on music, or if you're not, just
mhm.
do it because it will help you feel more comfortable and like move around a little bit.
So
Just like literally take a deep breath and be like, okay, I'm getting my picture taken. What's the worst that could happen? There are many things, but they won't happen. It's tough though. I mean, like just moving around and like physically like moving your shoulders back, relaxing a little bit, like it's tough because being
yeah.
tense is like a very big thing. You physically have to loosen up your body. But yeah, that's my answer to
Well, and for
that.
me, I'm actually doing shoots with people. I just try to keep it very like casual, and like we just kind of like bullshit and talk about like random
Yeah.
things, and it's not really focused on the shoot or anything like that. It's almost just like you're hanging out with someone a bit. And that makes it more comfortable for me myself as the photographer, but also it makes them a lot more comfortable because like it's not as focused on like, oh my God, like what am I supposed to do? It's just like things sort of happen more organically that way. Um,
Hmm.
but I guess like just trying to be as comfortable as you can is a really big thing.
Oh yeah, like I find the same thing. Like whenever I have people in the studio, it's never like I'm not talking to you the whole time. Like I will talk to you the whole entire time. Like
Yeah,
anything to make someone feel comfortable because I it's a nerve-wracking thing to be in front of a camera. Like and as a photographer, I very much understand that. And also as a model, I very much understand that. So it's like just finding that right medium and sometimes there isn't that right medium, but like just go with it. Roll your shoulders back, take a deep breath.
exactly.
But also Johnny's question, like slanted angle. I'm trying to understand what you mean, but like my mind's not computing fully. I think I know what you mean, but I'm not sure.
Like, is that from like down, like a sort of twist, like not on
Yeah, like
at
kind of looking up, like I mean,
Yeah,
I love
making your body
slanted.
vulnerable without knowing that's good too. I mean, it is
Yeah.
like natural as you can get it. Is going to make the shoot a lot better. That's a good point.
Also, frame your face. Like, just don't do it like this. Like, just let your hands flow around your face. I love to tell people to frame their face. This is my favorite thing to do.
I
But
mean,
okay, yeah,
most of my photography is not straight on, so I kind of
yeah.
already do that.
I mean, honestly, actually, like a lot of my photography, I try and make it centered, because I'm very like up my own ass about what my Instagram looks like. It's a
Yeah,
whole thing.
your whole process kind of blew me when you were telling me about that in the car when I was driving you back to your grandma's place. I was like, damn,
Yeah,
that's a
it's a lot.
process.
The reason I don't post sometimes for a whole month is because I'm just meticulously thinking about the colors, what everything will look like together, and I'm like doing it all on my test account. There's so much to think about in my mind. But slanted shots, I today, I really like them, honestly. But the other part of my mind is like your Instagram layout, it won't look nice. But it'll look good on the website. So I mean, whatever. I like doing different angles. I'm trying to switch it up because I don't want to do the same thing constantly. Um, but yeah, it can be tough with like without the right lens. I've found like I've had some issues with like getting things in the background that I then have to edit out. But it's something I'd like
Yeah.
to dive into more. I love movies. I love cinema. Um, now that I know what you're talking about, I'm familiar with it. And yeah, like it's something that I really do want to emulate in my pictures quite a bit. So yeah.
That's a great question.
hmm
It's fun to switch it up every now and then. Yeah, I like this one. Screw IG aesthetics, literally. I kind of
Yeah.
agree with that. Like the only aesthetic that I do with mine is I post in threes and I alternate color in black and white every
Yeah.
day. I fucked up the other day and I posted two series of color. So then I was like, now I have to do two black and white to just even it out.
How could you? I find like for when it comes to Instagram aesthetic and stuff, the Equidim account, that's my one where I really put a lot of thought into it because I treat it as a portfolio. So someone
Mm.
scrolling through it, they're not looking through every single picture that I have on there. So it's tough. I try and make it look cohesive, but also pick the best picture to be the first one. Um, but on my side account, Eminetti, I post everything and anything I want to. So if you ever want to see like my work that I don't post, I mean my work, very loosely using that term because it's like zoomed in pictures of pixels. I don't know. It's weird. But
It's fun.
Ratchet, I haven't watched that yet.
I haven't seen that. I don't understand the
I've
whole
seen the
issue.
colors. The Instagram look,
Yeah,
it's tough. Yeah,
some
it
people get sucked into it a lot more than others. Like, I don't know. I mean, the thing, just use Instagram however way you feel comfortable, use it and just have fun with it. It should just be fun. If you're not having
yeah.
fun, then maybe try switching it up. Nat says
Yeah,
weird is awesome.
weird is awesome. My other account is like strange. We'll say strange. I wish it was weird. It used to be weird. Now it's just strange. It's the lighter side of weird. But I yeah,
Maybe
the
it's time to get
Instagram
weird
look,
again.
maybe it is. It's like my like a little drag account too. Like if I ever do drag, I'll post stuff on there. It's there. But it's there. The whole
So
Instagram look thing is tough though. Yeah.
I have a Flickr account, but I haven't used it since like 2005.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a Flickr account, but I've literally I think I used it once. But
So yeah,
maybe it's
here's one.
time.
So it's not Jay-Z has a question. Does the brand of camera make a big difference? I have a Fujifilm DSLR and I feel it will never be what Canon or Nikon pics could be. Now, honestly, brand doesn't really matter per se. Like Fujifilm cameras are just as good for the most part as Canon or Nikon. Where the difference comes in is glass. Like the different
hmm
glasses can make a big difference, and brand loyalty just kind of happens is like what you get sucked into. Like I know Michaela is a big Canon fan. I am, for the most part, a Nikon fan because that's what I got into in the beginning. Like I've been shooting Nikon since like, 2000s. Um, it's not the brand doesn't really matter. It's really just, forming your eye, and then if you're shooting
Mhm.
digital, how you end up editing it and modifying it. Because like a lot of the time, the pictures that people are shooting on digital end up being heavily edited anyway, so
Yeah.
it's not what's coming out of the camera. Now, the different brands do have different looks to them, like a Canon RAW versus a Nikon RAW versus a Fuji RAW. They're all going to have a different look to them because of the way the sensor works and the way the processor, processes the image and everything. Um, so that really depends on that. But I mean, where it ends up happening, like where the heavy lifting ends up happening, is all in the editing. So if you're
Hmm.
shooting digital, get comfortable with like Photoshop or Lightroom to sort of edit your photos the way that you'd like to see them. But the brand of camera really doesn't matter. It's like those people that are like, well, I bought a Hasselblad, so everything's gonna look better. It's like, no, it's, you could take pictures with a point and shoot that could look better than pictures that someone took with a Hasselblad. It doesn't really matter with the brand. So,
It
I mean,
might
just
look
have fun and
hassle
enjoy.
bad.
Yeah, it might look Hasselblad. Yeah, exactly. That's terrible. Or it might
Incoherent
be.
screaming.
So like I'll say it. I shot a Nikon, or I
Oh,
shot a
you're
Leica
cutting out. Oh,
M9 with like a beautiful, like, the whole camera kit that Leica loaned me for this day to shoot with was about 20 grand, and I fucking hated it. It looked so shitty, like out of the camera. I had to edit the shit to get it to look the way that I wanted it to. And when I told the guy at Leica about it, he's like, "Oh, that's just the way it is." And I'm like, "Why would someone spend $20,000 to get shit pictures that you have to edit? Like, I can set my fucking
hmm.
Nikon D610 to auto and have pictures that I could just like Wi-Fi onto my phone and post onto Instagram right away. But this $20,000 fucking camera, I have to like go into Photoshop and make it look good before I can do anything with it, and that's just the way it is. Fuck off. Like the brand doesn't really matter. Just, have fun
Hate
with
it.
it for yourself. Your
No.
Fujifilm is fantastic. Don't hate on your camera. It
Also,
will,
message me. Come to the studio. We can do stuff. Have a good
yeah.
time. I can help you with your Fujifilm, even though I've never used one of those.
Well, and the Fujifilm cameras, like some of them are really nice. Like I've played with an X Pro 3 in the old world, that kind of blew my mind. If I had like, 3 grand to drop on a camera, I would totally buy an X Pro 3. Like it was a really cool camera. The like the film simulations that Fuji has in their digital cameras are really cool because you can simulate like Acros and Superia and all that kind of stuff, and you can make your digital photos look like film. So it's
Okay.
like, you really want to be a hipster and you have a bunch of money, go buy a fancy Fujifilm X Pro 3 and you can have that film look
I mean,
without
why
having
not?
money. Yeah, why not? Well, I mean, it could be good in that sense because, like, you spend so much goddamn money on film processing, that it's crazy. We're
Hmm.
coming up on the last 2 minutes here. You did have a question on perks of having a
All
studio, and
right.
then we'll do a wrap up. Hey, Sam, what's up?
Um, Perks of having a studio. I no longer have to shoot in people's houses where the lighting situations are questionable sometimes. I have a full setup. I can leave my gear here. I don't have to cart my gear around. And I just have a space that I can just use um, strictly for photos. So that's the main pull of it. It's close to Citizen Brewing, which has great poutines. So like, why not? And yeah, it's a space that's close to downtown, so a lot of people can meet me easily. And yeah, it's not my house. I'm not doing pictures of my house, which is not something I have ever enjoyed doing. And it makes it a lot easier to book appointments. So lots of benefits, but those are the main ones.
It's nice having a studio space you can use too. Like
Yeah.
I've been using one in Hamilton, and it's been fantastic to have like a space where you can go do stuff that's got more room for activities than, someone's house or your house.
It's truly changed me.
But we got 30 seconds left. I want to thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
spending some time with me and for everyone joining in. It's been a lot of fun. Um, Thank you so much, Michaela and
Yeah.
everyone. Next week, I've got Leslie joining me from Toronto. She is a medium format film photographer
Ooh.
that looks like Miss Frizzle that I met at Downtown Camera. And she's a good pal, and she rides ponies and shoots film. So
I love that.
looking forward to it. And thank you guys so much. I love y'all. Thank you, Nas. I'm glad you